What's going on, guys? Colin and Marvin here from UroTuning today. We're going to be talking about our MK8 Golf R and some of the things we like about this car. We've recently been talking about a lot of negative things about our MK8, or all MK8s, I guess. We just did our 10,000 mile review for this vehicle. We filmed our 10 things that we dislike about this vehicle. So today we decided to turn it on its head and talk about the 10 things that we do like about this car. Marvin, you want to elaborate a little bit there?
Yeah, definitely. So like Colin says, we had our 10 dislikes, but let's go ahead and flip it to the positive, our 10 likes. Now, mind you, this is a collaborative effort between a lot of people here, since we've had a lot of people been able to drive this car to kind of give their opinion. So not everyone might agree or disagree with some of our likes, but let's go ahead and just jump right into it and let you guys know how we feel.
So one of the best things that almost all of us in the office agree on about the MK8 is its drivability. The car is very comfortable, makes good power, it shifts well, it's quick, it's snappy, it's peppy off the line, and it's a good time. And it does it all while being super efficient. This car on the way up to Wookiees in the woods this past year still got over 30 miles a gallon while making 450 horsepower and bringing luggage in the back. It just does so well at so many things from a driver's perspective. The steering feedback's really nice, the chassis is really tight thanks to some of the mods we've added like our sway bars and the PowerFlex bushings, and it makes more power now than it did in stock form thanks to Unitronic tunes. It shifts quicker thanks to a transmission tune from Unitronic, and it just does all these things really well. It's fun to drive, it's a good experience, and that's not something that can be said about every modern day sports car. Like a good example, in my personal opinion, is an A90 Supra. Feels really disconnected and not as fun as a driver's car as this does. The all-wheel drive functionality is nice, and again, it does it all while still getting over 30 miles a gallon highway, and you just, in my opinion, you just can't beat it.
Another thing that we like about the MK8 is the digital dash. I come from the old school analog. I'm a big fan of sweeping needles, but this is I'm taking a liking to this. You have all sorts of great information. It's very customizable. For instance, right now we're looking at the tach. You can swap it out, speedometer. You can even see some maps from it. You can further change things like what you're seeing on the side, average speed, gear display. Left side we have our temperature, all sorts of different things. World is your oyster. Now the downside, the caveat to this is if you want to use the maps, you have to use the native GPS function. It doesn't sync with the CarPlay or the Android Auto using your Google Maps. But other than that, this thing is pretty sweet.
So one of the other modern features that the MK8 Golf R brought with it is the availability of a ton of different driving modes. Previous Volkswagen vehicles have had a sport driving mode before, but the MK8 has really expanded on it. You have comfort, sport, race, Nürburgring, drift, and custom, and they're all great options, especially in the stock form or when you have stock suspension, because they all play with the DCC part of the vehicle really well. They each change different functions, different parameters. They change how the car behaves in minor ways that make just driving overall a lot more fun, other than the drift function, which we talked about in our dislikes video. But all the rest are great. It's a lot of fun. It's cool, especially how it plays with the factory suspension, which obviously we don't have anymore, but in stock form, huge benefit. So while the MK8 has tons of awesome and cool new tech in the car, one of the things that we really like the best is the wireless charging pad. It's great because it works for all kinds of phones and it's super easy to use. You literally just take your phone and slide it down there and it'll start charging. It's super convenient, no wires, no plugging anything in, and it will actually connect. You can see it just got the little Qi logo there, and then if you have CarPlay enabled, it will show you that it's charging.
Now, one of the things I feel that they did really good with the MK8 Golf R is a lot of the lighting. Now, I know we mentioned before that the lack of a backlight for the volume and some of the air controls was kind of ridiculous, but the rest of the in-cabin lighting was fantastic. You can change the colors to set the tone, the mood, however you're feeling. Now up front, we have these matrix headlights, which are phenomenal. The automatic high beam setting, so it turns on and off depending on if it senses the car's coming, which is really weird at first, especially if you come from a car that doesn't have that. It's really cool how accurate it is when it sees a car coming. It just turns off the high beams as soon as you pass, turns it right back on. Really helpful, especially driving the back roads in Florida. Now the cornering lights, also great. It just gives you that extra bit of sight whenever you're just driving in the dark.
So Marvin, on the same subject of exterior lighting, the taillights is something I would add to that. So we swapped our taillights out for genuine European taillights that are sequential and brighter. These are IQ taillights, and they just look great. The factory taillights are okay. These are better. But I just wanted to add to that lighting discussion. This is a really nice OEM Plus upgrade that makes the whole car feel a little better, a little nicer, a little more premium, and it looks great.
Yeah, I really like how the sequential comes out. It just looks really cool.
Yep. So another one of the great tech features about this car that is now being included is Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. It helps connect a ton of phones to the vehicle. It's all wireless, makes it really easy. There's no more silly MFI, Volkswagen specific connectors or anything. You don't have to have an Apple or an Android charger to plug your phone in. You can just toss your phone in the wireless charging bay and connect to Android Auto. They also work separately, so you can charge somebody else's phone and have a different phone connected to Android Auto. It's great having your phone, your maps, your messages, your music all built into the head unit into the car. The display is really nice, it's high quality, well lit up here, and it's big, so you can see lots of information all at once. It's one of the best features I think they've added to many new cars, even though not all manufacturers are doing it anymore. We're looking at you, GM. But Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, fantastic addition to the Mark 8.
Another great thing we like about the Mark 8 Golf R is based on the MKB chassis. Now for those of you who don't know what that is, it came out in the late 2012 overseas, about 2015 here in the States. It's pretty much what Volkswagen has used for a lot of their Audis.
Yeah, A3, S3, RS3. I think TT and TTRS, TTS are all MQB based.
Even the Tiguan.
The Tiguan, the Mark 7, 7.5, Mark 8. It's all been built and refined. The Jettas.
Yeah.
It's in a lot of things.
It's in a lot of things, and it's pretty much their bread and butter once they came out with that platform. It's really supported. It does a fantastic job if they're using it for everything. It's one of the things I like about it. I'm partial to the platform.
One of the things that I really like about the car are the seats. They're very comfortable, they look great, and they're heated and cooled, which in the Florida summertime, or any time in Florida really, is great for helping stay cool. It gets super hot down here. I think they did a really great job. I love that the seats are unibody, like very B8 S4 feeling. They're definitely better than what came in the Mark 7 and Mark 6s.
I think I agree with you on this one, Colin, because I feel that the seats in this are actually pretty great. I have a Mark 7, but I do kind of like these seats a little bit more.
They're nice, man.
Yeah,
they're nice.
Definitely.
It's better than what's in your car.
I'll give you that.
Yeah, you will, because it's a correct statement. We like the seats. The seats are good.
They're awesome.
So another modern feature that we really like about our Mark 8 Golf R is the adaptive cruise control. This is something that Volkswagen's really expanded on and improved over the years. For those of us who had driven the car initially that weren't used to adaptive cruise control, we actually didn't like it at first, and it was kind of weird, and we were uncomfortable using it, and it took a long time to get used to. But now, after a couple of years and lots of long road trips to places like Helen and Wookiees in the Woods and even down to Fort Myers, it's been really nice on the highway. It just does what it's supposed to do really well, especially when I compare it to something like my 2016 Touareg, which has like the early version of the same kind of software. The Touareg software is just not as polished and refined as what it is on the Mark 8.
So yeah, stemming from what Colin's saying, for adaptive cruise control, it's pretty amazing. For those of you who don't know what it is, adaptive cruise control modulates the speed while you're in cruise control. So if a car slows down, your car will slow down. If they speed up, it'll go back to your set speed. Basically how it works is behind the emblem right here is a sensor, which uses radar to pick up what's in front of it and adjust your speed accordingly. No longer are you having to play the game of fumbling with your cruise control setting. It'll do it all for you. Just sit back, relax, enjoy the ride.
So another thing that we really like about the Mark 8 Golf R is the interior cabin space. You get tons of room because it's a hatchback, and that's sort of the innate feature of hatchbacks. They're small commuter cars, but still with lots of space. The Mark 8 Golf R, with its rear seats folded down, has just over 34 cubic feet of space, and you can fit all kinds of stuff in there. I've seen people shove TVs in here, kitchen equipment, furniture, all kinds of stuff. It's very great, and it's just sort of a natural feature of all hatchbacks, and we love it.
So there you have it. That's our list of 10 things that we like about the Mark 8 Golf R. The list could be a whole lot longer than that, but we just kind of decided to hone it down to just 10. I look forward to spending a lot more time with this car. I think it's a great thing, and I look forward to the evolution of what's more to come. Colin, what do you think?
Yeah, no, great car, love it a lot. Fantastic version of the R. Not the best version of the R like we've talked about before,
yeah,
but still does great. I also look forward to what is coming more for it later down the line. More mods, more miles, more smiles per gallon, lots of fun on the way. And remember, everything that you see on the car, not including the livery, can all be found on UroTuning.com. By enthusiasts, for enthusiasts. This is Colin and Marvin. We'll see you later.
Take it easy.
I want you to be sure you get my knees. This is a good part of me. I wish you could have seen him fish his hands through that hole and get the camera in there. Because it really was like a little gremlin, just like... I love the fact that they're heated and cooled because we live in Florida and it's hot as shit outside. Can I say that?
12, Mark 7. Really crew. Cricket? You gotta know what a crumpet is to understand cricket. Wow. That's from a 1990s Ninja Turtle movie, Jan.
And this is true of all hatchbacks, is the cabin space that comes with the MK8 Golf R. Stay in there, Jan.